we are recording. So what's your language? And I'm going to share the screen. And geez, okay, now it's working. All right, this is you, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Cool beans. Okay. So reverse coded.
Yep.
You already did that, or it's already been done?
We already did that together. Like, or well, we found the one that was reverse coded because you remember we had to like go through all my data.
Of course I do. No, unfortunately, I work with, I don't know, 10, 15 people a week on their dissertations, and I get all you guys.
That's fair. Well, we struggled a lot last time, and finally, like the whole time we were trying to figure out if it was reverse coded or not, and we found out it was.
Oh, right. We had to go back and look at the original.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. I remember that part. Okay. All right, so are we ready to answer your questions? What's going on?
Yes. Oh, wait, here, let me pull this up actually. I sent you my hypotheses and everything. Let me exit the screen. I could just resend them.
Yeah, I'm not seeing them anywhere.
Okay, hold on one second.
Wait. Looking in the wrong folder. Yeah, because I mixed you up with somebody else.
Oh, great.
And I put you on one slot, and I put the other person in their slot, and I double booked. It was such a nightmare. Okay, now I got them. Dissertation hypotheses.
Here.
Open. Oh, excuse me. It's been killer hot here lately. Where are you? I'm
in Chicago, so not too bad. It's chilly.
Chicago? Oh my God, you got a gun? Just kidding.
Yeah, that's them.
All right, first things first. Let's make this big so everybody can read it. All right, how do medical professionals differ from mental health professionals? Oh, that's right. And we found that the medical professionals had a higher something, right?
Yeah, I think it said they were for it.
Yeah, okay. So we did this one already, first one?
I can't, like, we were playing around with it. I'm not sure if we like actually did the correct
thing. Okay, let's do this professionally. So medical professionals instead of mind guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
Will be less in favor of POS. So which one? Oh, hold on. What the hell is this going on? I swear. What the hell is this? I already got it open, you stupid computer. So yesterday I could not open any Microsoft Office, anything. I couldn't open Word, I couldn't open up Excel, I couldn't open up PowerPoint. And after about 4 hours, the IT guys got together and I had to re-download everything. And I don't know where it went. I've been using it for years and years and years. It just wasn't on my computer one day yesterday.
That is so frustrating.
Well, I don't trust software. I hate it. You're out to get me. All right, so I don't need this. I don't need this. I need this. Where are you? Right here. Okay, so this isn't you. This is somebody else.
Yeah, no, it's not me.
Yes. Oh, God dang it. Okay, this is you. All right, so which one is the variable that tells us if they're medical or mental?
The profession, which is, I'm going to have to pull up my metrics. What question is it? Just asks what profession are you? So I think it might be further down. It's in the demographics. So all the way at the bottom. Yeah, so where is it? Profession right there. It's 38, or technically 37, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna
Rename it.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this is a backup here and start renaming everything so I don't have to wander around. Oops, stop it. Bad. Profession. Got it. So they're ones and twos. Got it. Okay, so and here's pass and there's FOD, right?
Yeah.
So first of all, we're going to see if pass and FOD are normal, because that's what has to be before we can run the t-test. So we're going to go to descriptives, explore, stick them both in there. We're going to go to plots. We're going to unclick the stem and leaf, click the histogram, and this is our main one, normality. That's going to give us the Kolmogorov, Smirnov, and the other test of normality. I already forgot the name of it. That's the only one we need. Beep. And we whistle happy too. There we go. All right, so you got 325 people. That's good. There's mean, standard deviations. Ooh, okay. So this tells us these two tests of normality, because the significance is less than 0.05, that means you violated the assumption of normality. So this one is fear of death is a little bit skewed to the left. You got a couple outliers here. If you deleted it, would probably become more normal if you want to.
Okay. Yeah, I'm down for that.
And this one's a mess.
Oh, cool.
Right. This is physician assisted suicide. You got a lot. So this is what we call kurtotic, but it's not normal. That's the only thing you got to know.
Is that, in the way, I'm curious, I think I wrote this down before, but I lost it. That is like a ton of them are in agreement, or let me see. I think I wrote this down.
Now, didn't we create this one by adding up something?
Yeah, we did, because it depends. That's why we started looking into the reverse code, if it was there or not, because if it's reverse coded, it means like 5 is like I strongly agree with this, and 1 is I strongly disagree. So it's like if they have 25, that means they 100% agree with physician-assisted suicide.
Right, so they're doing 5 on all 5 questions. So there's 5 questions that will measure their physician-assisted suicide in here somewhere?
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we added up those 5 to create that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, okay, so that means you got almost 50 people that clicked all 5s.
Okay.
I'm just going to double check.
Okay.
And we already reverse coded, right?
Yeah. This, I mean, you had 2 copies. You had the original, and then you had the one that you last worked on. And I think the one you last worked on was reverse coded.
Right, and I put right in there, use this data. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's what they all are. And you're right, I'm seeing a lot of 5s.
Okay.
But okay, hold on a second. But this was saying that there was 5 out of 5. So if we did this. So we're only looking at the first 5 questions. Oh, there's 1. This guy's all 5s. This guy's 4 5s and a 1. Oh, this guy's all 5s. All right, so okay, that makes sense. It's right. That's right. Okay. So the data is not normal. So we should probably not run a t-test. We should probably run its evil twin, what we call the Whitney U test. It does exactly what the t-test does. It looks for significant differences between the mean or not the means, but the medians
Mm-hmm.
of the two groups.
Okay. So instead of running a t-test, would you be running an ANOVA?
No, you're going to be running the Whitney U.
Whitney, literally. Okay, got it.
Which is that's just it's a t-test, but instead of using means, it uses medians. So
okay.
if the data is not normal, if the data violates too many of the assumptions,
Mm-hmm.
then you would not use a t-test. But in all honesty, it really doesn't matter whether you use the non-parametric version, which is the Whitney man, or the parametric version, which is the t-test. The results, if there's a difference, it's going to show a difference.
That's interesting. Okay. But just to be safe, still use the Man-Whitney, just to say, like, we observed, we found this.
Yeah, yeah. Because, right, if you violated the assumption, somebody could come back on you and say, you know what, you violated the assumption, you ran a t-test anyway, your answers are caca. So you don't want anybody to do that. You're going to be bulletproof by the time I get through with you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run the t-test as well, because it only takes a second here.
Okay. And I'm actually curious, while you're running this, do people do that? Have you found that in their dissertation that they ran both just for extra backup, or is it like, it doesn't matter, I'm running the Man-Whitney just because?
Well, okay, so I've read plenty of papers where the data was not normal, yet they ran a t-test anyway. What seems to be okay with researchers is if you invoke the robust test law, which t-tests and ANOVAs are both they're under the robust test law. So that means it can violate at least one assumption and the results could still be considered both valid and reliable. And I have a quote on who said that. I think it was Cohen or something. So, but if it violates both assumptions, which is normality and homogeneity variance, then you're boned. You can't use a parametric test.
Which mine basically screwed over both of those, right?
Well, we're about to find out. The t-test does the homogeneity variance test.
Okay, got it.
And I'm going to just do them both at the same time. Grouping variable is the profession. Where's profession? And I'm assuming it's a 1 and a 2. And then we do a drum roll. And then we click OK. So right here, okay, so physician-assisted suicide, that's the one with the spike on the 25. That also violated the assumption of homogeneity variance. So the pass is neither normal and the variance is not spread out evenly. So you cannot use a t-test for that one. You might be able to get away with the fear of flying, but it's not the fear of flying, it's fear of dying. So, but right off the bat, both of these say there's a significant difference. The t-test says there's a significant difference in both groups between the medicals and the professionals. And we go up here to the means. So fear of death and flying, the medical professionals are significantly higher than the mental health. And physician-assisted suicide, the medical profession, is significantly higher than the mental health.
Oh, that's interesting. So your fear of death kind of correlates with being for physician-assisted suicide.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, them doctors. What are you going to say? Okay, so we know there's a significant difference. Now we're going to run a different test, and it's still going to be a significant difference. It's just going to be the numbers will be different. That's all.
Okay.
So we're going to go to analyze non-parametric tests, and we're going to go to 2 independent samples, and our grouping again is profession, or it is, and it's 1 and a 2. And fear of death, physician, and boom, 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 boom. So there's the Man-Whitney tests, right? So these guys use mean ranks, which I'm not going to try to explain it to you because I'm not sure I know what that means at all. But we treat them like means, okay? But it's the same thing. The doctors, the medical doctors are significantly higher than the mental health guys. But they're rankings. It's not the exact same thing as a mean, but it's a ranking. But now we go down here to the test statistic, and this is the fear of death and flying. It's been a long day. So there is a significant difference between both of these DBs.
So that's saying that there is basically like there's a relationship between those things.
No relationship, difference.
Oh, that's good.
Right, be careful. It's one or the other, right? No matching, right? So, so this tells me that medical doctors have a significantly higher fear of death score than mental health guys.
Okay.
And it's the same for physician-assisted suicide, right? So medical doctors have a higher physical-assisted suicide score than the mental guys.
Got it. So when you're saying these two things are different, like fear of death versus PAS, you're saying kind of a good thing, or like why is that important that they're different?
Wait a minute. Back up. Are you looking for a correlation between something?
No, I was just curious what you meant by saying these two things are different.
Oh, the tests are different?
Yeah.
The calculations are different, that's all.
Oh, got it. Okay.
So the parametric test, that's the t-test, and that's everything you're used to, all the parametric tests. That all it means is it uses the mean and the standard deviation.
Got it.
That shows there's a significant difference, but your data, the DBs were not, they didn't meet the assumptions, which are normality and the spread of the variance between the groups is the same. So that wasn't met. So you had to switch to the evil twin of the t-test, which is the non-parametric of the t-test, which was the Whitney U. But the results were the same. There was a significant difference, regardless of which test you go.
Okay, got it.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Okay. So now that you mentioned it, I'm going to run a correlation between fear of death and physician-assisted suicide.
Is this just to make sure that they're not?
No, they are correlated. They are strongly correlated.
And that's technically good for the study because it shows that one kind of, there's a relationship between the two.
Yeah, there certainly is. There is.
Okay.
All right, so that answers that question.
Cool.
There is a significant difference in fear of death and dying between the two groups, and the same thing with physician-assisted suicide.
Okay, cool. So that's kind of like for our hypothesis one, which is medical professionals will be less in favor. So that's debunked. That's not true. They're actually in more favor.
Correct.
That answers question one, and that was done through t-test, which then answers some research questions. That's cool.
Right,
okay.
But now remember, it wasn't done with a t-test. It was done with a Whitney.
Sorry.
Test. Okay. No worries. So, and now what you're going to do is, a Whitney test. First of all, you're going to say, unfortunately, the DBs of fear of dying and physician-assisted suicide both violated the assumptions of normality and homogeneity variance. Therefore, you use the Whitney U non-parametric test, and it determined that there was a significant difference in fear of dying and physician-assisted suicide, with the medical doctors having significantly higher scores in both than the mental health professionals. Okay. And then when you mention that, you could put the means up here, and the means are up here on a t-test.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, got it. Just to like further back up, like we did a Whitney and we did a t-test, and they're both showing these things.
Right, but you don't mention a t-test. So you just say there was a significant difference, and then you put the mean of the fear of flying for the medical professionals, right? M equals 95.78, comma, and then SD, that's standard deviation, equals 19.15, comma, close parentheses. And then when you mention mental health professionals, you put this one in there. M equals 88.19, comma, SD equals 18.97. Remember, only two decimal place values. That's APA for you.
Okay.
And then do you know how to write up a Whitney U test?
No. I've never done that, no.
It's kind of a pain in the butt. I can do it for you right now. It'll take about 5 minutes. You want me to go ahead and
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Type it up? Okay, here we go. I'm gonna here, I'll put it up in one of these guys.
I'm just thinking in my head, please, I hope you're recording.
Oh yeah, it's you know, and this is just paperwork stuff. I mean, it's not that important. You found the difference. You just got to write it up so the APA people are happy. Okay, so you're going to say the 2 DVs, dependent variables, of fear of dying and physician. You're going to have to edit this because I can't spell for shit.
That's it.
Physician. Assisted suicide. Violated both the assumption of normality and the assumption of homogeneity of variance. Okay. Therefore, the man Whitney U test was used to determine if there was a significant difference in the 2 DVs between the medical, what do you call them? Medical professionals in the health?
Yeah, mental health professionals.
Right, okay, the medical
MH, yeah.
professionals and the mental health professionals. Okay, that set it up that said the reader knows that the data didn't fit the assumption, so now you're going to use the different test, okay? You know, I spell that word a million times a day, signif. You would think I could spell it right, significant.
Yeah.
Significant. Significant, okay, significant.
ICA, yeah. NT.
Between the 2 DVs. Okay, 2 dependent variables. Okay, 2 dependent variables. The 2 dependent variables, fear of flying and physician, violated both the assumption of normality and the assumption of normality. Therefore, the man Whitney U, okay, the non-parametric God bless America. Thank God for spell check. Parametric. Therefore, the non-parametric man was used to determine if there was a significant difference between the medical professionals and mental health. Yes, health professionals. Okay.
Okay.
The outcome indicated that there was a significant difference between the professions for the fear of dying. And this is where it gets weird. This is where we got to go to the to the Google. And we type in Mr. Google. Where's Mr. Google? APA formatting, just APA. Man, Whitney U Test. Okay, there it is right there. Then right up. This ain't the right page. Okay, man, wait, there's the test. Oh, there it is right there. Okay, so, all right, figure skating scores. Okay, so we got to put the medians in there. Ah, okay. All right, I got it. I'm going to take a picture of this. So how's the weather in Chicago, man?
It's nice, refreshing. Definitely not like California.
Shit, California's on fire. You've been reading that shit.
I can't wait to return.
Well, it's supposed to be. They're talking about rain this weekend, so hopefully that will happen. And you know,
yeah.
Goddamn fires out! I swear to God.
I can't believe they're still going.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it's been a long time. I mean, they're talking 4 million plus acres. That's a record on all time.
Oh, God. I feel like it gets worse every year.
I don't know. The governor's blaming it on climate change, and I don't know if he's right or not, but damn, makes me feel sorry for those people that have those beautiful houses up in the mountains. And
yeah, or all the wineries up in Napa, like all their grapes, their vineyards are just burnt. It's like those
well,
are
I
old.
remember we had the same thing a couple years ago because we had a student from up there. I mean, and her house was the only one that survived out of everybody in her neighborhood. So it was like a miracle, but you know, she was brokenhearted because you know her family had lived up there for 50 years. Okay, so right up, man, Whitney. Okay, so there's that. Okay, so now I'm just gonna put this in as a guide.
Okay.
All right, so what do we need? We need the median of both ones. Okay, so the outcome indicated that there was a significant difference between the professions. All right, we can write up the results here first, okay? And so we're going to write U, parentheses. So we need the ends for both groups. And what was our ends? Where'd you go? Oop, not you. Okay, so ends for both groups. So our sample size, all right, let's go back up here. So it's 193 for medical, right? 193. And so, okay, so what they want is, it's supposed to be lowercase. Okay, so n equals, and for the other one it was 132. All right, hold on a second. This is getting away from you. And so you get subscripted. Boop. And you're the med and you're the ment. All right, okay, where'd you go? Okay, so, and, okay, so then you do the U score equals, and your U score was, wow, it's a big one. For the fear of death, so it's 1, 2 zeros, 245.5. Okay. 1, 2 zeros, 2, 4.
0.5.
Boom. That's huge. Okay, what comes next? I think the p-value. Oh, z-score. So the z-score was negative 3.262. And the p-value was 0.001. Is that right? So far?
Value.
That's it. Okay, that one's done.
Nice. Okay.
Now okay, so that one's that one, but we should put the means in. I'm going to put the means in there. So the mean for the medical professionals because your teachers are going to want to see the means and
yeah,
the same way. Even if you didn't use them, we want to see them.
Yeah, I agree.
The mean for the medical professional was where's means. There it is right there. So means. Where's the mean? You know what I mean? There it is right there. So 95.78. And the standard deviation was 1915. That was a good year.
Wait, did you say the mean for the medical professionals was 95.78 or was it 95.28? I can't see the 78.
Yes, 95.78.
You wrote 28 and that I was like, what? I didn't know if I was losing it.
Well, that doesn't mean you're not losing it, but you go to a line, I know you're losing it. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so the mean for the medical professionals was blah, and the standard deviation was blah. Okay, now we're going to make a new paragraph. Okay,
wait, I have a question really quick. Would you like for this, is this literally just a section for the medical professionals or was this just a section for the fear of dying? Because if it was just for fear of dying, why wouldn't you write also the mean for the mental health professionals?
This first one right up here, actually, okay, so this first paragraph should be by itself because we're telling the audience that the data is screwed up.
Okay, got it.
And then we tell them which test we use, right? We switch to Whitney. So this one is going to be for the this is the fear of dying. I'm going to highlight it so you know which is which.
Okay.
Okay. Now we're going to do it. We're just going to cut and paste for the outcome and the outcome also indicated.
Oh, for mental health. Yeah. Got it.
Between the actually physician-assisted suicide.
Oh, so that's my question though, because wouldn't you also put the, because you put the mean for medical professionals in the first one, but you didn't put it for the mental health professionals. Would that matter?
Oh, it did. Yes, you're completely correct. You must not tell anybody that I screwed up. Again, hold on a second. Suicide. Okay, so the mean for the medical professionals was blah, 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 and they're okay. And the mean for the blah, blah, blah was blah, 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 blah. Mental was, okay, there we go. Now, good, right? You're my co-pilot. If I screw up, so 88.19. And standard deviation 1897. Excuse me. Okay, good. So we're going to do the same thing for this guy, but we're going to change the numbers. So this was physician-assisted suicide. That's what I like about you, psychology majors. Your subjects are always so light and airy and Disney. Don't make me waste my sarcasm on you. Suicide. Seriously, you should. Some of the shit I hear from you guys, I'm going, I have to cover my ears. Oh my God. I have to change the, these dirty words to like tennis match and point and, turn it into a football game because I just turned so red. Okay. All right, so here we go again.
Okay.
Physician-assisted suicide, that's the bottom one. So the numbers are the same, 193, 132, good. And the mean was 1479 for the first guys. The standard deviation was 705 for the second guys. And so the med heads, no, the med, okay, wait a minute. What did I just do? Okay, that's the medical guys.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here's the med heads. 1267.
Oh wait, that's medical. You got to go down a bit.
Son of a gun. Hold on. Hold on. Pardon my filthy mouth. The mean for the medical guys for physician suicide was 14. Oh, God dang it. This is 1267 down there.
Yeah.
And then the standard deviation is 590. But now let's go get the mood, the U scores. Here we go. Okay, so here it is for physicians to suicide. So, okay, the U was 10890. 10890. 0.5. Correct.
I think that says 18802. Wait, what are you looking at? Oh, the physician-assisted suicide. You're right. My bad.
No. You're doing the right thing, Copilot. Okay, so that was that one. So the Z-score was 2325. 2.325. And P-value was 0.020. Okay, we're done.
Okay.
Don't let me forget to send this to you, okay?
I won't.
So that is ready to be just cut and pasted right into your dissertation. You ain't got nothing. Check the spelling, I guess. But okay. Next question.
Okay, cool. You have a copy, but I still do.
Oh.
It kind of does the same thing. It kind of answers that the medical professionals will report lower FODD than mental health professionals. That's why it's kind of like one of the these. It's like 1A, 1B, and they kind of are answered through like the same analysis, possibly. Or do we have to do a second?
We just did that, right?
Because the first hypothesis was medical professionals will be less in favor of physician-assisted suicide.
Correct, and you found out that that's your data did not support that. That's
exactly
the easiest way to say it. Now the second one, we did the same thing, right? We did two of them at once.
Okay.
Right, fear of death and dying, and physician-assisted suicide. We did this one first and this one second. Let me rearrange the order for you.
Okay.
Oh,
okay. Thank you.
Good. Okay, so we answered number 1 and number 2, 1A and 1B.
Mm-hmm.
These are done.
Cool.
Done. All right, moving on. The higher a profession's food levels are, the more supportive the profession will be for POS.
So I think we did. I edit that?
Now, I'm thinking we should split the level because we ran a correlation here, and you're right.
Mm-hmm.
It is significant.
Okay, because I think that this one was where they wanted, like my committee wanted me to start the hierarchical regression because there's multiple factors going in.
Okay, so how do you want to?
They said, so this is the beginning of the hierarchical regression, and then they also want to see if like a mediation occurs because we're trying to see, basically, hold on, let me see right here. does like their, hold on, sorry, I'm reading really quick. My brain's fried from today.
Pages.
That's great. But yeah, no, so I think two is where you start the hierarchical regression and you just kind of see like the higher that their levels are, the more supportive. And then they want to see basically does having children actually even mediate this relationship?
Not mediate.
Moderate?
Moderate. Who's on your board there?
Oh, someone told me mediate. So I thought it was moderate. That's literally my dissertation title. They told me maybe they just weren't paying attention to me.
Okay, so a mediator is the relationship.
Yeah, literally. And a moderator strengthens the relationship.
No, a moderator changes the relationship.
Okay.
So let's say there was a significant relationship between FOD and POS, but only for the health professionals, for the mental health. If it wasn't for the other one, if it wasn't significant for the medical guys, that would make the profession a moderator because it controls the variable relationship between the groups. It gets kind of touchy. Some teachers do call it a mediator, but that's wrong. But whatever they told you, that's what you're going to do. So who's on your board? Who's your chair?
Dr. Jaw. I'm up in San Francisco though.
Oh, that's right. I don't know any of those guys. So yeah, whatever they want to call it is fine. It doesn't matter. I've read books and it gets really confusing, but I know what you're saying.
Okay, cool.
Now, okay, so for this one, I think what he wants to see is what we call a simple regression.
Okay.
Okay. You know what? I'm going to put these right on your hypothesis.
Okay.
So you will know where to get them, right?
Cool.
I hear a grandkid walking around back there. Okay, why did that do that? So we want to space it out here and space it out here. I'm just going to highlight it so you remember what's what there.
Thank you.
Okay, now for this one, we're going to go ahead and run what we call a simple regression.
Okay.
With FOD being the IV and POS being the DV. Okay. And I'm working with a lot of people from San Francisco all of a sudden.
Oh, I mean, we're desperate for help up there all the time. So
I noticed they between you and I, San Francisco had the biggest tutoring center. When I got hired in 2003, San Francisco had like 15 tutors. The person that ran it up there, she was so smart, unbelievable. And so I kind of managed, I designed my tutoring center after her. She was a good friend of mine. And when they went through these restructures about 5 or 6 years ago, they turned her into like an advisor or something.
What was her name?
Her name was Patel. Dr. Patel. What was her first name? Damn it.
I've heard that name though. I think not because she was there when I was there, but I think people still talked about her, like the faculty.
She was the absolute best. And they tried to turn me into something like that too. And I told them, I said, you know what? If I have to do this one more second, I'm quitting. And they said, okay. So as far as I know, I was released. They tried to turn me into a marketing where you call people and try to get people coming in because the school was
they try blending in multiple roles with one paycheck. It's
that's it exactly. And they tried to train us on this stuff that nobody could see. And no shit, within the next year, 80% of everybody that was staff left.
It's a high turnover rate. I did a program evaluation on San Francisco's campus.
It was. And I lost so many friends. I mean, it wasn't even funny.
Oh, it's bad.
So here it is with the new guys. The new guys, this all happened before the new guys took over, right? The old guys were trying desperately to hemorrhage the money loss by turning everybody into an expert at everything, right? They expected everybody to know veterans benefits, advising and all that shit. I'm going, yeah, you guys are full of shit. So they sold it. The ex-president sold it to our new owners, And our new owners, at first I was kind of hesitant, but I got to admit, they did a hell of a job. They kept the school afloat. They got rid of all the dead weight. And, you guys are doing a hell of a job. And I think the new guys are doing a great job too, because they don't run the school like a democracy. They run it like a school. So I'm very happy about that. Except for, I'm getting paid and you're paying. So I'm sure you get a different. All right, where was I going before I did? Okay, here we go.
Regression. That's interesting that you're saying simple regression, because they said hierarchical. I'm not really sure why either way. Because hierarchical, you just like add the boxes and slowly see how it changed once you added things. Is there like why is a simple regression better?
Well, you only got two variables. That's why.
That's why it's like for this, it's like there's FODD though, that's one thing, and then there's PAS, that's another, and then the profession. They wanted to see if the profession itself moderated the relationship.
That would be coming, but you can't.
Okay.
You can't. Okay, whoever's telling you this, I know what they mean. They're not wrong. Okay, they're not wrong. But from a statistics standpoint, you can't do it like that.
Okay.
And most people would do that, and I'll show you why. Okay.
Okay.
I'll show you why. But let's do this one first.
Okay.
So a simple regression is strictly a correlation, which we've already done, and all it does is it squares the R, which is what we call R squared, which is what we call effect size. So now a simple regression is 1 IV, 1 DV, plain and simple. So FOD is your IV, physician assisted suicide is your DV, and we want all of these guys. We want the Durbin Watson, and we want these two, and we want. Actually, you don't need that one because you only got 1 IV, but I don't want to. I'm doing most of this stuff automatically. I don't even think about it anymore. All right, so here's your regression.
Okay.
Don't care about the means and standard deviations in regressions. Don't care. Correlations, we already know what the correlations are. They're very strong. Okay. So here's your first thing you look at is you look at this ANOVA.
Okay.
And here, I'm going to go ahead and write it up for you. What the hell? What the hell? God, I hate this computer. I just deleted it, son of a bitch.
Oh my God.
Right, descriptives, correlations, removed, model summary. There it is right there, okay. I think we're going to need both of these. We'll take them both. Yeah, excuse me. No. So we're going to say a simple regression showed that there was a significant prediction model, I guess. Simple regression showed that there was a significant prediction model with FOD as the predictor and POS as the outcome, or criterion variable, whichever one you want to use.
Okay.
And then you do this, and then you write your F parentheses, so it's 1, 323. Close parentheses equals the F score, which is 16.32, comma, the p-value is less than 0.001. And do we want to mention effect size? I don't think we need effect size there. Oh yeah, that's the R squared, okay. With an effect size, and that's what we call R squared for these tests, of 0.048, which is kind of medium.
Okay.
Yep. So we should check to see if it violated any of the assumptions, but because you only got one IV, I don't think it's going to violate anything. So
Okay.
but let's double check. Durbin Watson. Okay. No, okay, never mind. You don't need to check the assumptions because there's only one IV, right?
Okay.
We're just going to say, because somebody's going to say, did you check the assumptions for a single regression, a simple regression? And you're going to say, of course you did. But linearity is assumed, and it was linear. You don't need collinearity because there's only one IV. You don't need Durbin-Watson because there's only one IV.
Mm-hmm.
Grandkids are out there. Afraid they're going to burn down my little shed out here. Okay, so linearity, multicollinearity, not an issue. Autocorrelation, not an issue. Outliers, not an issue. Multivariate outliers, not an issue because you only got one IV. Okay, so I don't want to blow your teachers away. So I'm going to just put something like, since there is only one predictor variable, none of the assumptions of a regression were violated. Okay? So if they give you any shit about that, let me know.
Okay.
Okay, so now, so the effect size of R squared, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so now we need to, that's it. Okay, so there was a significant, you're done. Okay, so it does prove that FOD can predict POS.
God, well, I mean, wait, are you saying we're done with number 2?
Yep.
Well, number 2 is also asking about like the profession, like that's the third involvement.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
So number 2 and 3 are part of the same one?
So no, it's up to 2. 2 is looking at 3 variables technically. It's looking at profession, physician-assisted suicide, their perspectives on it, and then also their fear of death and dying.
Okay, so it doesn't care about which profession, right?
No, it does. It's trying to see
2?
like, yeah, so you're like trying to look at like medical versus mental health. Where are each person's FODD levels at, like depending on profession, and does profession moderate basically the outcome of this?
Oh my God, girl.
That's why I was confused.
Okay, so it doesn't say that.
The higher profession's FODD levels are, the more supportive.
Which profession? Got
it. Okay, so how can I like?
What you're going to say is, so this is fine, right? You ran a simple regression. So yeah, we're going to cheat a little bit. We're going to say a split file was used. The split file function, the SPS from, okay. Which is the same way as this is the first thing that we do to see if it's a moderator or not, okay?
Okay.
The split file function. Now, some teachers like it, some teachers don't. I personally love the split file function.
Okay.
To see if there was a significant difference in the simple regression models based on profession. Right?
Mm-hmm. But wasn't, didn't we find that there was a significant difference just through t-tests?
Good point, right. There's a significant difference in FOD scores and PAS scores, that's true. But it might be different in the relationship. Relationships and differences, a lot of times they're the same, a lot of times they're not the same. So
Got it. So is the regression the one that's kind of finding what that relationship looks like, and the t-tests are just simply stating that there is a relationship or there's not?
okay, so whenever you use the word t-test, don't use the word relation. Use the word difference.
Difference. Sorry. So the t-tests are just trying to see if there's a difference, and then the
difference in the a difference in the FOD scores, difference in the POS scores between the doctors and the psychologists. Okay.
Okay, got it. So they're just trying to find that, and then the regression goes further to see like what that looks like.
It looks at like so. Yeah, a regression. It doesn't matter. The first one we ran, it doesn't matter if they're a medical or a mental guy, right? It doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. But there's a strong correlation there, right? So the higher the FOD, the higher the POS for everybody as a whole. And the lower the FOD, the lower the POS for everybody as a whole. Now we're going to split that up. We're going to look at that relationship strictly for the meds and then strictly for the meds.
Got it. So the regression just found like, hey, there's like positive correlations with both, right? Or they found,
yeah. Correct. So if one is significant and one is not, then you know you've got something going on there. You know that the profession does have an effect on the relationship between FOD and POS.
Okay.
And this is the fastest way.
Got it.
And some teachers, they will, they pull their hair out and they say, you can't do that. I'm going, you know what? You can do that. I mean, the results come out the same.
So we're going to do split file, but also like, would this kind of set the stage for a hierarchical regression or?
Okay.
I'm just confused.
No, it's not you. It's not you. So it's your teachers. And, you guys got great teachers up there. I know there's a couple of them that know what they're doing. But when they talk about putting a categorical variable into a regression model, they keep making the same mistake. They make them down here. They make them up there. The only way you can legally do that without getting your ass kicked is you have to dummy code. Dummy coding is the only way you can put legally that you can put in a categorical variable into a multiple regression model. And I've only run across one teacher out of about 100 that knew how to do it right.
I was going to say, because they want me to do dummy coding and I don't even want to go there.
We're going to check at this. So if there is something here, it'll show up in the split file. If there's nothing there, and I'm going to show you the shortcut on how to show you that there's nothing there. We're going to use it. There's a new process out written by some genius guy named Hayes. Mm-hmm. And it takes about a minute. You just drag in a suspected thing. It'll tell you, no, it's not a moderator. No, it's not a.
Okay.
All right. So we're going to compare the groups. Where did the profession go?
I think you have to go down. Wait.
There it is. Boom. Boom, 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 boom. So now we're going to rerun. We're going to rerun our simple regression, but now you're going to have one for the medical and then a separate one for the mental. Okay. And if they're both the same, if they're both significant, it doesn't matter. If they're both not significant, it doesn't matter. But if one's significant, one's not, it matters. Okay.
Got it. Okay.
That's the shortcut. So everything's already set up here. So boom. So again, it splits everything up into two separate groups, but all we really want is, where's this one? We want this one. Mm-hmm. So this says for the medical professionals, it is a significant relationship. Mm-hmm. But for the mental health, it is not a significant relationship. So guess what? You got a moderator.
Hey, okay.
Congratulations. So in other words, the relationship is strong between FOD and POS, but only for the medical guys. For the mental, it's not even a relationship whatsoever. And it's practically zero. Your effect size for the mental guys is practically zero, which means that there is no relationship between fear of death and physician-assisted suicide for the mental health guys.
That is really interesting. Okay. So the moderator literally is your profession.
It is.
That's
right?
cool.
So remember, a mediator controls the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So the best example for a mediator is, let's say you're looking to see, you run a correlation between Coca-Cola sales
Mm-hmm.
and murder rates.
Okay.
I didn't know if you knew this or not, but they are very strongly correlated. So what they found out was drinking Coca-Cola does not make you go murder people, or murdering people does not make you go drink Coca-Cola. What happens is, what's really controlling the both of them is the temperature of the day.
Oh yeah, I did hear this. Yeah.
So when it gets really, really hot, people drink a lot of Coke and people lose their temper and they kill a lot of people. That's the mediator. The temperature of the day is what's really controlling the relationship.
Got it. So it's mediators what's really controlling. Like
correct. And that's not what this is. This is a moderator. A moderator changes the relationship. So for the meds, it's a real relationship, but for the mentals, it's not.
Got it.
That makes it a moderator. But don't fight those guys on it. If they want to call it a mediator, let them call it a mediator. Okay. Whatever they want to do.
And it's basically a moderator because they're, yeah, okay. I don't want to complicate it. I got it.
I know, and it goes back and forth in my own personal head, because I had a big argument once with some teacher, and you know, he left, but he kept saying, no, it's a mediator. I opened the book, and I've read like 10 different books, and 9 of them said the same thing that I said. No, categorical variable can only be a moderator, can't be a mediator. And then but I read one book that said, yes, it can be a mediator. I went off. I couldn't stand it anymore. Okay, here we go. Shortcut. We're going to go to analyze. Regression. Oh, God dang it. It's not here. So there's something called the Hayes process. And for some reason, I have to add it every time I try to use it. It's such a pain in the ass.
Stuff was deleted.
No, I can put it back in there. So, okay, we're going to dummy code. Okay, we're going to dummy code. And then we're going to use hierarchical.
Okay.
But people got to realize that when you do hierarchical dummy coding, you got to leave one group out. And since you only got 2 groups, what you're going to do is you're going to leave one out. Mm-hmm. And whatever the results are compared to the other group. So it's really hard to interpret when we dummy code.
Okay.
So that's why I tend to do the split file, because it's black and white. It's easy to see. It's right in front of your goddamn face. So
when writing this up, would I mention that we did a split file and then also mention that we dummy code and did a hierarchical?
Let's see how the hierarchical comes out first.
Okay.
All right. So first of all, we got to unsplit the file. I keep forgetting to do that. Man, oh man, that has made my life so miserable. All right, so we unsplit the file. So now we're going to dummy code. So let's look at your variable. It might be dummy coded already. So profession, there it is. No, but this will be a quick dummy coding. So how much do you know about dummy coding?
I learned about it my first year, and I'm in year 5 now.
So here's a good example. So let's say we wanted to put a variable called ethnicity into a multiple regression model, and it had 5 levels, right? White, black, Hispanic, Asian, other. Mm-hmm. So what you would do is you would pick one group. It's supposed to be the dominant group. Okay. That you think that has the most is either the strongest relationship or the most numbers or something like that. So you would pick the white guys as the reference group, mm-hmm. and they would be left out. You would make 4 new variables called African American. Everybody got a 1 or a 0. If they got a 1, they were African American. If they were 0, they were not.
I do.
Hispanic, you got a 1 or a 0. Asian American, 1 or 0. All the way across. And then you would only put those 4 variables in as a hierarchical regression. And anytime you showed a significant difference, that means whatever that group was, yep, you got something there. But we can't do it here because you only got 2 groups. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to change mental health to 0.
Okay.
So that means it's dummy-coded automatically.
Okay.
Right? So only if they had a 1 is medical professional, and so the results will be in reference to the mental health guys.
Okay.
And then I'm already telling you, this is going to be a real crapper to try to interpret, but let's give it a shot here. Okay, so
did you change that to a 0 or did you leave it as a 2?
I'm going to change it to a 0, but I want to change the data set because this is just going to make you cry.
Okay.
No tears. I get a lot of tears. I feel
it.
Yes. Because they don't find, because they don't get the results that they were hoping for. And I said, you can still write your dissertation. You can still graduate. Doesn't matter, really. I mean, they want to see that you did the research, and you do the research. I mean, you did a good job of the research. So
I am emotionally numb at this point. I just want results.
I know. And I don't blame you. You guys, you're close. You're right. You can.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just like, I'll write whatever. I don't care how wrong I am.
And I'm right there with you. If I was doing that, I would say, yeah, you just get me the hell out of here. Okay, so profession, there it is, profession. All right, so if it was a 2, it will now be a 0.
Okay, got it.
Boom. So let's go back to our data just to make sure here. Now we got to fix this one. Okay, so we're going to change that to
a 0.
0.
Okay.
Okay. So now let's look at our data. They should all be 1s and 0s. 1s, 0s. Good. Pretty good. So, you ready, Freddie?
Yes, I'm ready.
We're going to do a hierarchical multiple regression. Get in there, you. So there's the first one, and then we're going to go to next, and then we're going to stick in our dummy coded variable, which I just, there it is, boom. And it should be done already. But now the results are going to, okay, I'll just do it.
You wouldn't add the FODD in that? Like in the third, like, how there's like split levels?
No.
No? Okay, not yet.
It was so basically you're going to get 2 models.
Okay.
Right, here's the first one. And this is the one we already ran. This was the simple regression with FODD predicting PAS. Okay. We already know that was significant. Here's the second model. We added in the dummy coded, but it's only for medical. Got it? So for medical only, it shows that there was a significant regression for those guys compared to mental health.
So what would that mean in regards to this data?
That means that the regression between FOD and PAS is only good for the medical doctors.
Okay, so that's like confirming it. Like the simple regression hinted at it with the split level, but now this is like pretty much sealing the deal.
Correct. Now watch. I'm going to go back and I'm going to change the dummy coding. I'm going to make the mental guys 1 and everybody else 0, and this second line should not be significant.
Okay.
So, and so it's very confusing. It's very confusing. So that's why I like the split file. It's not that confusing.
Yeah.
So
No,
if they're cool with the split file, I just say leave the split file. Your average layperson can understand a split file faster than they can understand dummy coding.
Yeah. Committees are weird though, so.
Yeah, they are. Okay, we're going to do it again. We're going to go to recode into the same variable. So this one, okay, so if they were let's get rid of that. Boom. So if they were a 0 in the old one, they're going to be a 1 in the new one, and everybody else is going to be a 0. Okay, so that should have switched them around a little bit. Let's go double check. Yeah, so remember before they were all 1s in the beginning and 0s at the bottom. Now they reversed. So we're going to go ahead and rerun our model. And everything's already preset. So when we dummy coded for that, where's the damn second one? Hold on a second. Let's get the right one up there. Not the fudger. Which one's which? Which one's which? God dang it. That's the last one we did. And we get the same numbers. That's the part that's freaking me out here.
Wait. Then it wasn't switched.
We re-dummy coded.
And
we did,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
So why are we getting the same numbers? Back at duck.
That's strange.
Oh. I think I know what. I didn't clear the cache.
Oh.
But let me start deleting some of these things.
Okay.
All right. So let me do this again. So let's go to analyze, regression, linear. All right, let's reset. Reset, boom.
Yeah.
So the DV is POS. Fear of flying. Next, we're going to stick in our dummy-coded professions. Next, statistics. You know what? I don't need most of this stuff. I'm just going to get this and this and this. And okay, we don't need the rest of that crap. I don't want all that data showing up. I just want the other R squared to show up. Right. Wait a minute. I probably want those. And okay, don't need cool in here because there's only one variable. Okay, here it is. So here's the second model. So we're getting the same thing. So this one is significant too, but we changed the dummy coding. God damn.
Did the other numbers change? Like
no,
nothing.
They're the exact same numbers.
Oh.
And okay, so this is what I'm having problem. I can't wrap my head around it. Because the first one, it should have just worked out for those people who were medical doctors because they had a 1.
And then you changed mental health to a 1 and medical to a 0.
So it should have changed the different data set. So, okay, let me make sure these numbers are not the same numbers because, and this again, I have always had problems with dummy coding. That's why I kind of steer people away from it because I don't know how the thing works the way it's supposed to work here. All right, just remember that this top one is where the mental healths are 1.
Okay.
So mental health guys are 1. So I'm gonna go back up here again and I'm gonna transform where I'm gonna make the medical guys 1. Okay. We're gonna so in this old one, if they're a 0, they're gonna become a 1.
Okay.
Everybody else is gonna be a 0. So this is gonna put the medical guys back to 1.
Okay.
Let's double check. And it did it, right? So remember, right? So these guys are now the 1. So these are the medical doctors.
Okay.
So here we go again. And what I'm afraid of is we're going to get the exact same numbers, which means I'm not interpreting it right. There's something I'm missing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's all done. That's all done. That's all done. Is that done? Yes, that's done. And here it is.
Okay.
Right, that's the second one. Yep, that's the second one. Let's copy it, compare it to the first one. And I'm starting to think money, right next to each other, they're going to be the exact same thing. All right, let's open this bad boy up and take a good look. Okay.
Yep.
Yep. Exact same thing.
Something's missing. A step or something.
All right, so I'm trying to think of what you should say. You could say that you threw it in, right? You used a hierarchical regression. You had to dummy code the professions, and it showed that there was a significant, the first model showed a significant predictor model between FOD and TOS. And then when you threw in the dummy coded profession, it too was significant, which means that, but see, this is the thing. It doesn't tell you who's who.
There has to be like a step or something that's like missing because that doesn't make any sense, right?
No, and this has always been my weak spot. You found it out. This is my kryptonite. I just the dummy coding part. So from everything that I read, and I made several videos on dummy coding, but it's always the same. You're supposed to. These results are compared to whatever the reference was. The reference category is whatever you mark as a 0. So literally, this top one says that the second results, right, the 0.248, blah 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 blah, is in reference to the mental group. So the one on the bottom down here, it's just the opposite. This is in reference to the medical group. So I think it's just that last part that I'm screwing up on. You know what?
Which would be?
Okay, so I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it like my mentor down here. He's been teaching for 1,000,000 years. He's like 100 years old. And he basically taught me everything I know about stats. Pulling it out of him is like pulling teeth with this guy. But let's go back and put it back to normal. Okay. So, okay, old and new. So this one, ones are still 1. Right? A 1 is a medical doctor. And a 0, we're going to change him back to a 2. Okay. That's a mental health guy. Okay. So they should be 1s and 2s now. 1s and 2s, 1s and 2s, NAR. Okay, so this is how he does it. And it's just the opposite of what the books say. I keep telling him, you can't do it that way. But he says, oh, sure you can. So, I never understand him. So we went linear. So this is going to be the same. Here, let's just start from scratch. Okay, so starting from scratch. We want FOD predicting pass. Next, we stick in the profession variable. That's just how he does it. And again, we don't need a lot of these things. We just click OK. And son of a bitch, you get the exact same thing as the other two. Well, I got duck.
Why? Oh my God. Okay.
So it doesn't matter. You don't have to dummy code, right?
Really? Because that just kind of proved it. Like we tried dummy coding and not dummy coding, and it's the same thing.
Dummy coded it both ways, and then we didn't even dummy code it. We just left 1 for medical and 2 for.
Is it because they're like coded as 1, 2? Like since like I know it's still technically categorical, but like does it really matter since there's like only 2? Is that why?
No, so it's not treating them as categorical. It's treating them as the number 1 and number 2. It's seeing them as values.
Yeah.
So and that's I don't understand why it's coming out. Okay, fuck this. Let me try to get the Hayes thing going in. That's the easiest, fastest way. Okay.
Okay, that'd be great. Thank you.
So okay, Hayes. Okay, how do I do the Hayes? Hayes. Oops. I got to do that every freaking time. I don't know why it doesn't stay on the software. So Hayes process. Come on. You're in there somewhere. Ooh, Data set incorrect sleep data. Okay, that's a real one. Hayes. My meteor tests. Hayes process. That's you. I even made videos on it. Damn, I'm good. Okay, hold on a second. No. All right, that's a video, I'm pretty sure. Yes, that's a video. Okay, so there's the goddamn. Okay, hold on a second. Hayes. going to try the new Hayes process. So, first me in the years to come, probably will. All right, number one is the variables. They can't be over 8. Unless there's a video on that here somewhere. We're going to go to Analyze, Regression, Process. The version I'm using is the latest one, v3.5. Hope that doesn't date me in the years to come, probably will. All right, number one is the variables. Okay, this ain't helping at all. I have the process somewhere. Let me find the goddamn thing.
If you search the whole desktop, it won't come up.
I've got about 1 million files. So the desktop is when we moved here, when the COVID shit hit, I set up my office on my own personal computer because it's like 100 times better than the Lion computer piece of crap. So, but I put everything on the disk drive, and I got everything. I just can't find it anymore. So stats for web, that's us right there. Bam. Hayes. Come on, I know you're in here somewhere. Let's type in Hayes. No. Hayes. Find Hayes. There it is right there. Process. It's an older process. Where's the newer one? I'll use the older one if I have to. All right, process. There it is right there. All right, let's unzip it. To right here. Okay, process. Oh, it's already there. Okay, never mind. Cancel. So let's go back up here. Okay, stats for web. Here we go. SPSS. Data. Hayes. Oh, there it is right there. Did it work? There's the process. Okay, did it work? Let's see if it worked. Analyze, regression. No, god dang it. Shit, it's getting late, young lady. Hold on a second.
I'm sorry.
That ain't you, it's me. How do I? Okay, this looks terribly familiar. Where are you? Oh, duh, download. Download process. Okay, this is the one, and I think we've already downloaded it before, but okay, it has can't be downloaded. Well, screw you. Okay, process. Open. Now let's show it in folder. Hello. Oh, what's going on there? Right, there you are. So let's do this. Copy. to put you on my desktop, you rotten thing. Pasty. All right. Open. That's you. That's the one I want. Extract. Sure. Okay, should have worked. So now we go to our desktop. We look for, there it is right there, process for SPSS. There it is again. Okay, hold on a second. Don't need you. You're not SAS. That's the file I need, god dang it, but why isn't it? Okay, let me try this. No. File, open, SPSS syntax. There it is right there, open. It's already open, yes, I know, but you're not working, you bastard.
You want to reschedule? Is this too stressful?
Yeah, we're gonna have to reschedule. I'm gonna have to find out what's good the hell's going on.
Okay. I'll just mark off that like we left off. I mean, like at this point, just like save everything and then mark off that we left off with trying to figure out dummy coding with Hayes.
Yeah, and there is a difference, right, between the mints and the meds. Okay, there is. Okay, so.
Okay. Cool. And then just let me know your availability. I mean, I could do this every Tuesday, Thursday. Like I'm always free at your time, 3 o'clock. So.
What's wrong with you? Hold on a second. Linear regression. Let's try that again. Analyze regression. So normally it shows up right here, right? Hayes thing, but I don't know what it is. Okay, yeah, I've had enough for one day.
Yeah, I was like,
I did this before. I did it about 2 or 3 years ago. My problem is I don't remember shit anymore. So I'll look up my own videos and.
I feel it. I really feel it.
Yeah. Do this shit. Okay, and I'm gonna send it to you just in case I jump off a bridge or something. So you.
Thank you. Yeah, send me the video that we recorded for this.
Oh yeah, and
I'll just send you an email honestly right now.
Cut out my filthy mouth. No. Okay, so libraries, documents, line from home, Christine. So I'm just putting this as the Hayes process. I'll put it right in your file so I know where to find it. Okay. Okay, so this is going to take probably an hour or two to what we call make the video. So when I come back in tomorrow morning, I will upload it to either the OneDrive, which I hate, or YouTube, and then give you a secret code for it.
Okay. I'll email you right now. Just like don't open it so like you can see it tomorrow if that's unless you get 1,000 emails.
No, here let's make the appointment right now. Save the changes.
Okay.
Oh yes. Okay, everybody close down. Everybody close down. We were doing so well.
I know. I'm sorry.
Now I want you to go back and slap your chair person gently. But again, we answered the question using the split file, and I don't know why they don't want to use the split file across the board. It is so much easier to understand.
You probably just want it to be extra because it's a dissertation. I don't know.
No, I will. Okay, so here's the beauty, right? My tutors, they know these answers right off the bat. So there's not going to be an issue. Okay. No. 86th, 7th, 8th. Okay, I got Monday from 1 to 3 open.
Okay, I could do Monday at 3 o'clock.
No, I got to teach at 3.
Got it. So next week. Okay, go on.
Tuesday, I got from 1 to 3 again.
Okay. I can only do, because I work until like 5 or like 4:35 Central Time. So it's like basically by the time I'm off, it's 3 o'clock for you.
Okay, so it's got to be 3 o'clock. Okay, so let's do 3 o'clock on Tuesday.
Okay, got it. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. And then I'll send this email just like as a reminder, like one of obviously the appointment, but also just to get the written up stuff and then the recording of this session.
Okay, sounds good. I'm as soon as I'll send you the files and everything, and I'll send you the video tomorrow morning.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and thank you for putting up with my filthy mouth. So,
main character in this. Thank you so much. Okay, have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.